You may know Microsoft Studios creative director Adam Orth for his incendiary comments about Microsoft's next-gen console being, having the always-on DRM. He kind of started a flame war on Twitter with people when he said, I don't understand why people are so upset about always-on DRM. And then people responded by saying, well, have you learned nothing from the SimCity disaster? And he wrote, like, well, sometimes the internet goes out, sometimes electricity goes out, what the hell? He showed a blatant misunderstanding of why people dislike always-on DRM.
That's not so much a misunderstanding as a complete apathy.
He said, you know, you live in Seattle, but what about places that don't always have a steady internet connection? What about them? And he's like, I'm glad I don't live there. Fuck you, Adam Orth.
Now, we didn't do the always-on DRM story last week, right?
I've talked about it a lot on my own, so we may or may not have.
We may or may not have. I think I was reading the statistics that of Xbox users, only 70% of them have broadband internet connection.
Right.
So that's not all of them.
No, but it's just...
And that's just in the United States. Well, when you go internationally, it's really only 50% of users.
Well, seriously, have they learned nothing from the SimCity disaster with EA? It shows a blatant apathy for what customers want. It's kind of putting paying customers aside in an attempt to stop piracy, and it sucks. People hate it. You can't connect if everybody wants to play, not to mention places where there isn't an always-on connection.
So
anyway.
All of these things are assumedly to make more profit.
Yeah.
I mean, the
but
trend...
it's discarding your current customers for it.
Right. I mean, they're banking on the fact that they are popular enough and that people are just going to buy them despite. And I'm sure lots of people will. They'll say, I don't care about always-on DRM, despite the fact that they do care, but not enough to not buy it. Not enough to miss out on Halo 5.
I really liked Maxis before, but now I feel unsure about them, you know, with
so it goes.
This whole shitstorm.
And there's also this, this movement to prevent people from even using pre-owned games.
Yeah.
That they won't work. You can't play the campaign more than once.
It's just all greed. I mean, of course people hate it, but Adam Orth didn't understand it. He has since resigned. We don't know if it's under pressure.
I'm sure it's under pressure.
But
or
just on his own.
Does that mean that Microsoft is hearing the pleas of the people that
I don't know, because they haven't even announced the next-gen console yet. They're expected to in May, but are they going to announce that before the console? Probably not.
Are we putting the cart before the horse? Is this always-on DRM a definite thing?
Sources say it's going to happen. I mean, it's still all conjecture at this point. What's up, Amir?
Like, as much as I don't agree with it, I can get why always-on DRM is on, like, computer games and stuff, because, like, there's a lot of piracy in, like, the computer world. But, like, how much piracy exists for console systems?
Well, it did before. I mean, you've told me the story of someone's console.
Yeah, I mean, we had a modded Xbox.
I feel like it's like the whole thing with like the voter fraud that like people are making a big deal out of. Like, there's like what, like less than 1% of people like do piracy. Maybe it's like more for console games, but like
it's more of
so
a PC
small.
thing, though. That is true.
The biggest problem is that all of this always-on DRM and stuff does not stop pirates. They find a way around it, and all that's left is the people that actually paid for the game suffering.
There you go.
You have to find a better way. This doesn't work at all. It does the opposite of what you want.
So we don't know about the next console yet, but please listen to your audience and not people like Adam Orth. Don't include the always-on DRM. It fucks shit up, and we won't like you anymore.
You freaking dweebs!
Oh, poor Mark Hamill.
That swarm of nerds is gonna kill him.
No!